Welcome back, everybody. My name is Tim. This is another Real Ideal Gear review, and this happens to be take number 6. Yes, I have had, I don't know how many interruptions on this recording. So we're going to get through this record. I am going to get through this recording. This is the first time you've seen it, but this is the 6th time I have gone through this introduction for a variety of reasons. But today we're talking about folding knives. I have not done a folding knife review in months, and I'm trying to think back. I don't even think I've done one in 2024. So it's been at least 6 months, I think, since I've done my last knife review. And we're going to be doing a knife review here. I'm going to kick out a bunch of knives that I've been carrying around for a long time. I have, I think, some really good knives. I've talked about a number of these, and you're going to see, if you watch my watch videos, you're going to see all my favorite knives in there. The knives that I like show up in my videos. The flashlights I like show up in my videos. Sometimes I'll put a new flashlight that's like, I think this is going to be a cool flashlight. I might do that, put that in the next watch video, or in this case, knife video. But you're going to see that these knives that I pull out, these are knives that I actually really enjoy. And for one, the Civivi Vision is one that I reluctantly got on board with. Now, this is a relatively new knife, and I don't remember when it came out, but it came out just recently. And I saw it when it came out, and I saw the reviews as they popped up, and I thought to myself, I don't know about that. There's a lot of different stuff. Like, I'm a slow mover when it comes to technology. Matter of fact, one quick story. When I went back to college a second time, this is in 1993, and no, 1995, and I'm taking this class, and I'm working on my undergraduate work at a junior college, and the professor says to me, "All right, everybody, I want you to get your email set up and send me these things via email." And I remember thinking in my head, "This is such a fad, emails." I was like, "This is," I think it was 1993. So this is such a fad. So give you some idea of how much of a slow mover I am. So when I saw this knife, I thought to myself, that's overloading my brain. I don't think I can handle all of those design features, especially this locking mechanism. Like, it's using your index finger. How weird is that? What do you do with your other fingers? How do you hold the knife, and how do you close it? And so I picked one up because I needed to challenge myself, and I thought, man, there's just a lot of great reviews on this one. I'm gonna pick one up. So I picked it up, put it in my hand, flicked it open, and immediately this shot up into the top 2 or 3 knives that I own. I mean, it was just, it was like that. It was just instantaneous. This super lock feature is fantastic. Now, here's why it works well for me. Because if you look at the ergonomics in my hand, and everybody's hand is a little bit different, but the ergonomics in my hand, if I just grab this knife, I just pop this around and just grab it. Okay, now I'm going to grab it like I've got it ready to deploy the blade. If you look at where my middle finger is on the back side, it's on top of the clip, but it's nested inside that little hole there on the scale there, on the micarta scale. It fits perfectly right there. And I can actually, and I just did this in takes 4 and 5, I can actually hold this knife with one hand like that. All right? Pretty good. Okay, and I can kind of control it, move it around a little bit. Because my finger is actually inside the scale just a little bit, if you can see that. All right? So that's the left hand, or the finger side, the thumb side. I actually get, when I'm tossing this around, I get ready to go, my thumb immediately goes into this top hole here in the scale. Immediately. So now I've got a great purchase right here. I've got the same great purchase here. These 2 fingers down here are doing a good job. And all I'm doing now is using my trigger finger. Now, I do a lot of pistol shooting. I'm a competitive pistol shooter. So for me, you know, the independent movement of my trigger finger is well practiced. So that is something that I am very used to doing. And this is just, I mean, I love the action of this knife. I love the safety feature. I feel like the fingers that I'm most concerned with, which are my thumb and middle finger on this knife, have a definite indexed place to be, a home for it. And of course, the index finger is on the back, operating the super lock. So to me, this is just a great feeling knife. Now, it's got a great micarta handle. It has Nitro-V material for the blade, and it's a reverse tanto blade, which I get that. I'm not a knife expert, but isn't that kind of a sheep's foot as well? I don't know. They say reverse tanto on the advertisement, but this to me looks more like a sheep's foot than it does reverse tanto, or tanto, I guess. I don't know what you call it. But to me, the shape of the blade, I love it because I've always liked a knife blade with a little bit of a belly to it. I think it just makes a great slicer. I think it just allows you to use certain edges of the knife at certain angles, where if you have more of a flat blade, you just don't get that same flexibility. Has a reversible clip. You can reverse the clip on here. So for all the lefties out there, the people who have, you know, they write with the wrong hand. Yeah, you got a place to put this. Or for those of you that I shouldn't say that about left-handed people. They're the only ones in their right mind anyway. But the reversible clip, if you think about this, if you're into self-defense, you want to have your knife in your offhand. If you're personal carrying a firearm, a pistol, you want the knife in your weak side hand, because that's where you're going to be grabbing it. If somebody grabs a hold of your gun or whatever happens to be with your dominant hand, which is usually where your gun is, the knife should be in the left-hand side so you can deploy the knife and go to work, okay? So really, for the righties out there, you should be putting your folding knife in your left pocket. Now, if you use this for utility purposes and you're carrying a knife all the time and you're not carrying a firearm around, yeah, for sure. You know, the pocket clip is going to be where it is. It's set up for righties, and it should go. Now, this is a pretty good deep pocket clip. I don't see a lot of this knife sticking out the top of the pocket, which is nice, especially for concealment or just, you know, not letting everybody know that you have something in your pocket. Now, here in Montana, there's two things that we had in mind with all law enforcement interactions. Number one is everybody has a knife, and number two, everyone has a gun. So it didn't matter. But in areas where they restrict those things, I guess that kind of matters. I love the micarta handle on this one. I love the green. It just doesn't show the dirt as much as I think some of the other colors do. And I love the blackout coating on the blade itself too. So this is just a great overall knife. It holds a great edge. I've sharpened this. I've spent a lot of time sharpening this knife and getting that edge on there. And once you get that edge going, man, it's just about maintenance. All you got to do is maintenance. You know, use a strobe, use some very, 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 very fine material just to keep and maintain that edge about every 2 weeks, every month if you're not using it a lot. If you're using it a lot, about every week, go through and just, you know, brush things up a little bit. But this is a great, great knife. Put the price down below. I got this one on Amazon. I think Amazon's a great place to get this. There's a lot of other places to get this too. As far as the alignment of the knife in the liner, in the liners here, it lines up great. I have no issues with the way it lines up. I have no issues. When it showed up, I have not added any oil to this knife at all. And you get, I think, a great action. Sometimes a loose knife freaks me out a little bit. I've got another knife here that has great action. And this is a Tucson, and great action. And this is what I don't like about the liner locks. So I'm always sticking my thumb up really high so that flipper tab hits my thumbnail. And then I get my thumb out of the way. But this one is drop down awesome. So I get a little nervous when it comes down to you know, highly lubricated, very, very fluid knives. I like a little bit more, just a little bit of resistance on there so it doesn't, you know, slam down on a finger when I'm paying attention to something else, actually. So there you go, the Civivi Vision. I love it. This is one of my favorite knives. Is this a top 2 or 3? Absolutely. When I want to carry a knife and I want it to work and I want a one-hand operation, this is the knife. One of the things I think you do have to keep in mind, though, if you do carry this on your weak side hand, is to practice opening and closing with your weak side hand. I've always practiced with my right hand, but practice with your left hand, get that pocket clip on the other side, and take the time to train your hands to do those things, okay? Yeah, this is fantastic knife. In the comments down below what you think. Visit my store for any reviewed gear, watches, knives, flashlights. I do have some knives from Revo for sale on there. The Canyon, which is a great skinning knife, which is a great outdoors knife. If you do anything with hunting and you keep the pelts, the skin, whatever, that is a great knife. I can't emphasize that enough. And I have been looking periodically over the last, I don't know, 8 months. They don't have them in stock at the store. I think I have 3 of them. So if you're looking for a Revo Canyon, I don't really try to advertise on these videos too much, but I know they're not on the Revo site. I just was there like 3 or 4 days ago, and I checked, and they don't have them in stock, and I've got 3 of them. So I think I've got 2 different colors. I know one of them's tan, but great knife. Check out my website, realidealgear.com, and the stuff that's on there is some of it's brand new. Most of it has been reviewed, but reviewed to the point where I show it off and I say, you know what, this isn't for me. This could be for somebody else, and I put it on there for a great price for somebody else to get. So let me know what you think in the comments. My name's Tim. It's been another Real Ideal Gear Review. We'll catch you guys next time.